And we're back with another episode of Before You Buy, that show where we give you some straight up gameplay and our first impressions of the latest games releasing. As usual, it's me, Jake Baldino, and today we're talking about Predator Hunting Grounds. This is the officially licensed Predator multiplayer game. It's a 4 versus 1, meaning 4 players play as an elite squad in the jungle trying to complete an objective, while 1 player plays as the Predator in third person and is always watching and hunting you down. It's an ambitious way to do this thing, like basically recreate the original movie in multiplayer form. And this is from Ilphonic, some of the people behind the Friday the 13th multiplayer game. Now don't worry, this game is definitely stronger right out of the gate. But on a positive side, just like Friday the 13th, that game, Predator Hunting Grounds is extremely faithful, and it has quite a few issues, but is some good, simple fun. I think it needs more, but the foundation is great. Just so you know, this footage is on PC. I'm bad at my job. I thought this game was only on PS4, but it's actually also on the Epic Game Store. I feel like these games often just fare better on PC, these 4 versus 1 games. That just seems to be the case. Is popping onto the PS4 version, it just seems a lot rougher, and the frame rate was often an inconsistent 30. On PC, I haven't run into a single issue at all. But yeah, so you know, this is the PC version. When playing as the soldiers, I use the mouse and keyboard, and when in third person as the Predator, I use the controller, because it kind of felt better. So, playing as the squad of soldiers, you're dropped into a map from an infiltration point you vote on in the lobby, and it's up to you to go in through the jungle and complete objectives of all different kinds. You know, taking out a target, drug lab stuff, blowing stuff up, securing intel, defending a point, finding something. It's all pretty simple, but what's nice is that there's tons of AI enemies in the environment, further complicating things. It feels like infiltrating a base camp or something in like Far Cry 3, but rougher. Like there's a little bit of the enemies noticing you, but I wish there was way more stealth to it. You're gonna shoot a lot of bad guys as you move from objective to objective, with the ultimate goal of actually, and they use this phrase, getting to the chopper and extracting. At any point, the player acting as a Predator can just show up and make things even more messy. But the shooting, at least with a mouse, feels good enough. You know, there's some decent feedback, the weapons work nicely. Is it as smooth as butter, tried and true as the big competitive first-person shooters? No, but it gets the job done. And there's a shit ton of gore. You can splatter blood everywhere, you can blow people's arms off, you can explode their heads. It's cool. So even though the objectives are completely mindless and don't really matter too much, being paranoid about the Predator and blowing away all these AI dudes as fodder is a lot of fun, I'll admit. The only problem, the AI is incredibly dumb, like almost distractingly unattentive and just not good. They're not harmless, you know, they still can pose a threat, but oftentimes it takes them a really long time to realize what's going on. Sometimes you'll kill a whole base and a guy around the corner will have no idea what's happening. Sometimes they kind of just line up and wait to get shot, or they just run blindly at you. It's pretty rough. Also, especially when sometimes it feels like the game spawns them right in front of you. It's a bummer, and I hope to see it improved quite a bit. You know, if there was a bit more stealth, like if there was a bit more meat to it, it could really make the encounters more intense and more compelling. But still, it does give you the action hero feeling, the action hero satisfaction at least. Like every time I headshot a dude, I can't help but like look at him and say, stick around. To me, it's hugely important to point out that I actually have had a lot of fun not playing as the Predator. Like just stuck as the soldiers. You think you're always waiting around like, oh, I can't wait to play as the Predator, but here it's just as compelling. You know, matchmaking since the game is launched has had some really long wait times for playing as a Predator, so about 70% of the time I was playing as a fire team, and I really enjoy it. I didn't feel like the thing I was playing as was an afterthought, or just like, you know, playing second fiddle to the Predator. The use of sound, like really good sound design, and taking it slow, and keeping an eye out for the Predator in the trees, and not trying to draw too much attention, leads to some tense moments. You know, maybe the Predator player is taunting you with a distraction sound lure, or roaring far off in the distance while healing himself. Maybe you'll see a rustle of some tree leaves falling, or hear his iconic weird croaking noises. So you'll cover yourself in mud and don't make a ton of noise when you move around, and you might have a better chance of getting by. Especially when there's like a mini skirmish where the Predator will drop down, kill one of your guys, guys, you get a bunch of shots in on him, and he runs away through the treetops. You can follow his trails of his glowing weird blood, or just kind of regroup because you know he's going to come back, and it kind of adds to like a good ebb and flow kind of pacing to encounters. I will say I do prefer when the game pace does just slow down in general, but often it does move pretty briskly through the maps, like even if you, especially if you're playing with a team who really knows what they're doing. And I gotta say, like, playing against a good Predator is really fun and challenging, but playing against a dumb one, someone who has no idea what they're doing with the Predator, is kind of hilarious. The overall Predator stuff, as a fan, is really great, like really correct, man. Like from the incredible iconic music they use and how they tweak it, to the sounds the Predator makes, to the different weapons the Predator has available. Whatever side you're on, this game is a Predator simulator in the best way. It has a great vibe to it and really understands the whole reason the original movie was special. Like, even if you win as a soldier the right way, you can do the Arnold Carl Weathers muscle arm handshake thing. I'm not kidding. Moving through the trees as the Predator is fun and makes you feel like you have a true advantage other than your weapons. Managing how fast you move essentially means how much your cloak is gonna work. Moving through the trees and dismounting does feel slightly off though. Hard to put my finger on it, but sometimes I got frustrated accidentally moving him to another branch too quickly. It feels a bit rough at times, but it's otherwise pretty good. Your cloak, your shoulder cannon, and lots of your abilities rely on a pretty generous energy meter, so you have to manage that and use things carefully still. Once you unlock the net gun, or the sword, or the spear, later a bow, things get even more interesting. Also, hitting the Predator vision for the first time is such a rush. I know other games have had it, but like that perfect effect, the whoosh, the sound, they really nailed it. It made me actually go, oh wow, out loud. Now, downing an enemy soldier can lead to an interesting strategy. You know, do you move in to finish the kill and rip their skull out, and then you have that trophy and you can carry it around on your belt? But that leaves you vulnerable. Do you do it, or do you hold off and maybe risk that soldier getting revived? If the soldier's down you, as the Predator, there's a window where you can activate the self-destruct option, so long as they don't pump enough bullets into your head before you pull it off. This then activates the iconic spooky Predator laugh, and the countdown begins, and players have to run like hell to escape the massive one-shot kill blast. It's done really well, and always feels like you have just enough time to get out by the skin of your teeth. It's just a satisfying, cool end mechanic. Missions can wrap up in a variety of ways for soldiers and the Predator. You level up and you earn crates that you can pop open for random customization items. Yep, there are random loot boxes. Thankfully, I haven't seen any real-world money options at all. You earn this stuff in-game only for now, and I'm okay with that. They dole out stuff really generously, and I hope it doesn't change. There's a lot of customization items, and you can even make your soldier pretty badass with some face masks, hats, different color camo, stuff like that. I'd love to see more hair options. That's besides the point. The gun stuff is great too. You can rank up and make your own custom loadouts for different character classes like sniper, heavy, standard soldier, stuff like that. And you have perks you can equip to give you bonuses too. Earning weapon unlocks is paced pretty well, and they make a difference. Generally, I was surprised to see how much there is here. And you're earning stuff at a good, satisfying, and consistent pace. You know, after just a few hours, I had my guy looking cool, how I wanted him. But there were still like a lot more guns and crazier cosmetics to work for down the line at least. Same goes for the Predator. There are a lot of high-level weapons and gadgets to earn, as well as some crazy customization and skins. I'm genuinely impressed. There's a lot here, but honestly, there's almost more than there is actual gameplay. Bottom line, I want more games and more progression. Now, IllFonic is being transparent. They're working on putting out more free content and a bunch of stuff, but right now, at launch, you have just, you know, a handful of fairly similar feeling maps. They're not bad maps, but I can see them getting old pretty quick. The same goes for the modes and the general progression. I hate to see it, but this could use more things to rank up, like through checking some boxes, maybe some weekly challenges, or I might cringe, but like a battle pass. something just to make it feel like it's worth playing for a while. Especially with modes, because I feel like there is room for more strategy, but ultimately it can boil down to being a very simple thing. If there's more going on, more you have to do, more you have to manage in different modes, it could add another layer of complexity that I think the game needs. Because the way it plays, it's fun, but it feels very much like a one-trick pony. I've had a lot of fun playing with friends, doing silly missions, keeping an eye out for the predator, trying to blow him away, and when matchmaking would let me, I had a lot of fun terrorizing players as an awesome, badass, custom-built predator to my liking. But more modes and variation, like I said, on this core flow will help make the game feel much stronger than it is now. I'm looking forward to, number one, seeing what IllFonic can clean up and fix, but more importantly, number two, how they can just grow out the game. Because the cool sound design and the Predator controls are there, the cosmetics and the fun weapon stuff is there, the class loadouts are there. It feels like for a much bigger, more complicated game than this. So if they can make the soldier stuff more compelling, give us some more modes, maps, and control over this stuff and custom matchmaking, I'd be happy. Also, I'm looking forward to matchmaking improving over time, but I really hope console players can just get a better experience overall. In the performance and the graphics department, you know, I'm having a surprising amount of fun playing this game. I didn't have high expectations, but I like it. I don't know how long that will last with the current content offered here. It's a good start for a smaller scale online experience, and I think like big Predator fans should absolutely check it out. You might be able to overlook some of the shortcomings just because that Predator experience is so much fun for fans. If you're a gamer first, a competitive online player, you're probably gonna feel like there's not enough here, but if you love the Predator stuff, it might balance it out. I don't know. I'm 50-50. I'm enjoying my time, but of course this is a before you buy. I give you some pros, some cons, and some personal opinion. Now I wanna hear yours down in the comments below. What do you think about this game? Have you tried it? Did you try the beta? It is seemingly in better shape. What's your favorite Predator movie? Be very careful. There's only a few answers there. Let's talk about anything Predator Hunting Grounds down in the comments, where you're playing it, what your performance, anything. Let us know. And if you enjoyed this video, maybe we helped you out, maybe you learned something, clicking the like button is the best way you can help us out. We'd really appreciate that. And if you're new, maybe consider subscribing, hitting that notification bell, because we put out videos every single day. But, as always, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.
Thank you. Your bonus is being sent now.
This level of violence is excessive.